Right now, storm watch with the first major storm of the winter season bearing down on our region and the possibility of blizzard conditions in places. RFL gets you ready with the very latest tonight, including team coverage from our partners at FiOS 1 News.
Suffolk County is expected to get the lion's share of the snow. So what are officials' plans to keep the roads clear? I'm Kevin Vesey and I'll have a live report coming up.
Travel conditions as this snowstorm heads into our area. We'll have the latest on the roads and the rails. I'm Christy Duffy in Jersey City. That live report coming up. It's the first winter storm of 2014, and it's the first storm to be handled by new power utility company PSEG Long Island. I'm Carolyn Fortino in Uniondale. I'll have a live report coming up. Hundreds of flights have already been canceled, and some of the area's airports are experiencing 5-hour delays. I'm Kimberly Wallace from Newark Liberty International Airport. I'll have those details straight ahead.
And meanwhile, in New York City, the first big leadership test for Mayor Bill de Blasio. It comes on just his second full day in office, and the question is, will he be ready? Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this special edition of RFL. I'm Richard French. This is a Storm Watch special on this Thursday, January 2nd, 2014. Well, there is, of course, only one story people in our region are talking about tonight here, so we decided let's acknowledge reality with the format and focus on it. The first big snowstorm of the season, it's moving in. And to get the very latest for us, where the storm is, where the storm will begin and when in earnest, and what kind of snow totals we could be looking at. For that, let's head over to the Weather Center and FiOS 1 meteorologist Jeff Denoyer. Jeff?
Rich, we had a little bit of a tease this morning. We had some light snow work through the area, and I think a lot of people were like, well, where's the bulk of the snow? It's coming. It's on our doorstep. And the National Weather Service, when they put out a blizzard warning, they're not playing games. I mean, they know there's going to be strong winds. They know there's going to be heavy snow, cold temperatures, and that's what we have across Long Island. It kicks in. It already has kicked in, actually, and lasts until 1 p.m. on Friday. Winter storm warnings for the boroughs and all of New Jersey now. We're looking at the potential for 6+ inches of snow. You will have near blizzard conditions. Just because you don't have a blizzard warning doesn't mean that you're not going to reach that criteria where you're going to be having visibilities near zero, because winds are still going to be strong even in the areas that are not warned for blizzards. Now, we're also going to have coastal flooding. This is a big aspect as well, because anytime we get one of these coastal lows, you have the winds out of the northeast or east, and anytime you have that, it piles up the water. High tides couldn't be timed any worse during the overnight. Almost every location hits some kind of high tide, not just once, but twice during the bulk of the storm. So we're looking at widespread coastal flooding across the area. I think the most significant flooding will be in coastal New Jersey as we head into the overnight, into the morning. The temperatures, that's another aspect of the storm. Snowfall totals, when I show you, they're not going to be all that impressive. But when you factor in the wind and the cold temperatures, all of it just continues to domino effect on how the impacts of the storm will be across the region. 20s right now. But off to the north and west, temperatures are in the teens. And if you go a little further north and west, single digits. Very cold air pouring in. Now you have a strong northeasterly flow. We're starting to see the gusts. They're increasing a bit now, up to 30 miles per hour in Uniondale, 26 in Glen Cove. Wind chill values are going to be bone-chilling cold as we head into the overnight into tomorrow. And then let's talk about the snow, right? And precipitation. Here it comes. Some light snow right now. See a little bit of green and pink. Don't let it fool you. Once it starts falling to the ground, the air will cool, evaporate. Evaporational cooling is what we call it. And what it means is it will actually turn that to snow very quickly. So snow starting to pile up now towards areas to the western portions of New Jersey. And it's that heavier snow that will start to take over the entire area here in the next half an hour to hour. Snowfall rates will increase very quickly, because here's the low right off the coast. It's actually transferring energy right now. And what that means is we call it bottoming out. The pressure drops significantly. And once it bottoms out, it tightens the gradient. And by tightening the gradient, it means you increase the winds. And the winds will start to get very strong here. In the next hour, the intensity of the snow increases. You can already see the dark bands of blue that stretch back all the way from, we'll say, central Jersey back into Philly. And it's all that snow starting to make its way closer to the area. We haven't even begun yet. And I think when it's all said and done by noon tomorrow, 6 to 10 inches across much of the region, 3 to 6 as you work your way down to southern portions of Jersey. But the real jackpot, and I've always felt like this since we started watching this storm last week, was the locally heavier amounts in eastern Suffolk County. I think some areas will hit a foot, and I would not be surprised if some of those bands that set up during the overnight could we be talking about 14, 15 inches out towards the fork. So some locally heavy snow, especially the further east you go with this system.
Hey, Jeff, and we'll be going out to Suffolk shortly, but a question, because you hit on it a little bit. You got some people saying, wait a minute, 6 inches of snow or thereabouts, and you've got both governors in New York and New Jersey already declaring states of emergency. You've got Cuomo shutting down 3 major highways all the way from Long Island up to Albany. It's not just the accumulation, right? You talked about it. It's a combination of the wind and the temps, and in many ways, even when the snow stops, the roads could be just as treacherous in the morning as they could be this evening, right?
A fantastic point. You have to remember that the duration of the snow falling goes into the morning, but the cold temperatures pour in. The winds stay all day tomorrow. And the combination of the cold and the wind and the snow coming down is what makes this a little bit unique. You're going to get a situation where the snow stops falling, but the winds aren't going to stop. So it's going to continue to blow and drift that snow back over plowed roads. You never warm up tomorrow either. You know, when you get a little sunshine and it kind of melts the snow a little bit? You don't have that tomorrow. We're going to be lucky if we even see 20 degrees throughout the entire day tomorrow. So you're talking about wind chill values that are very cold, air temperatures that are cold, and everything stays hard and icy, even though the snow's kind of fluffy and gets blown back over the roads. And
just a frame of reference, you were telling me before the show, yes, of course, it's January. It's supposed to be cold, but we could be looking, when you factor in the wind chill, at temperatures as cold as we haven't seen since going back to 2009, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think back at least 4 or 5 years. I mean, when you wake up Saturday morning is when you'll feel it the most. I think the single-digit temperatures, below zero air temperatures. Yep. And even though the winds may ease up a little bit, we could be talking about 20 to 25 mile per hour winds still at that point. So you're looking at temperatures 20 to 25 below zero. Would not be surprised if the National Weather Service issues a wind chill advisory for Saturday morning.
Jeff, thank you very much. We'll be checking back in a little bit. And just a reminder, everyone, we will have weather information, a lot of other important snow stuff that you need to know that'll be running at the bottom of your screen all throughout this hour. And as Jeff mentioned, nowhere in our region expect to be hit as hard as the eastern end of Long Island. Of course, I'm talking about Suffolk County, and that is where 501's Kevin Vesey, he's stationed tonight. He got lucky duty on this one. Kevin, sure looks like the county is prepared here for a blizzard. They're not taking any chances.
That's right, Rich. You know, snow is picking up a little bit right now, but we're still very much on the light side. Now, once that heavy stuff starts coming down, officials did say that they're going to be ready. And how are they going to be ready? Well, take a look at this. This is one of 9 stockpiles of salt throughout Suffolk County. Bulldozers spent much of the afternoon filling their shovels with salt and loading it into plow trucks here at a Suffolk County Public Works yard in Comac. County Executive Steve Bellone says more than 16,000 tons of salt and sand will be available to spread on county roads during the storm.
There's one thing that we have learned from Superstorm Sandy is that we can never be too prepared.
And though accumulations aren't expected to be as severe as last February's blizzard, Bellone says a combination of factors will make snow removal difficult.
You were talking about darkness, extreme cold, and winds gusting up to 40 miles an hour. That will make it very difficult for those plow operators to move at more than a snail's pace.
Crews got started early in the county. According to Bellone, more than 60 vehicles were out this morning pre-treating the roads with salt. Once the snow gets heavy, more than 200 trucks are expected to be out. And major road closures are already being planned. Governor Cuomo has announced that the entire Long Island Expressway will be shut down at midnight.
If you're at home, stay at home. If you have to be on the road, get off the road as quickly as you can. Get into your home tonight. The plow operators face very treacherous conditions tonight. Let them do their work.
And that's definitely some sound advice. And Rich, as you mentioned, Governor Cuomo has declared a state of emergency. And Bellone said that he is coordinating with the state and the various townships to make sure that their snow removal efforts are coordinated. We're live in Comac. Kevin Vesey, FiOS 1 News. Back to you.
And as you know very well, Kevin, and you covered it last year, both in Sandy and before, folks in Long Island looking very carefully at how the authorities are going to be handling this. And there's one town in particular, right? Residents in Brookhaven, they were none too happy with performance during last year's snow. What have they done, if anything, here to try and have a different result this year?
Yeah, the town of Brookhaven has, Highway Superintendent Dan LaSquadro says that the town of Brookhaven has been working very hard to make sure that they don't repeat what happened last February. And one thing that they're doing in particular is that they have a new computer system in place that allows them to track snow plows and road crews throughout the town, which is actually, larger than Nassau County. Nassau County fits inside the town of Brookhaven. And also residents, when they phone in problems, it goes right into this system instantly. Rich?
All right, Kevin, thank you very much. And let's find out now how Suffolk and their first responders are prepping for this and what critical info they want residents out there in our listening audience to know. And for that, we're very pleased to be bringing in Joseph Williams. Joe is the commissioner of the county's Office of Emergency Management. He's kind enough to join us on the phone right now. Mr. Williams, I know you're very busy and I appreciate a few minutes. You've seen the projections here, and looks like your county is probably going to be hit hardest in our region. Talk about some of the preparations underway.
Well, what we did this morning, we actually have our emergency operations center open since 8 o'clock this morning. We have all county agencies, a number of state agencies, and we've been working all day also, too, with the American Red Cross, just in case we had to open any type of shelters. We've been working with our DPW department, our police department, and been monitoring the situation. They've been out there. We've been talking to our first responders, our EMS people, and our fire people in the field. And everybody's preparing basically for the worst part of the storm, which is coming in. They project between now and 8 o'clock this evening and going through the evening, through the whole night.
I know you're looking at it all, but if there's one thing that's going to keep you guys up tonight more than others, is it some of the coastal flooding? Is it more that the roads are going to be a sheet of ice here with how cold it's going to get? What's the thing you guys are most concerned about right now from the projections?
The biggest thing that we're concerned about now, what they're predicting, along with the heavy bands of snow coming in tonight, is gust of winds at 35 to 50 miles an hour. Well, we have in our county right now is actually a blizzard warning. What that's going to do is actually cut down on visibility, blowing snow, even as much as the plows will be going by. Plowing, a lot of that snow is going to be going back. Our main concern tonight is actually going to be motor vehicle accidents, people getting stuck. We're going to have a lot of drifting. That is our major concern right now. We've had some minor coastal flooding on our South Shore and areas like that. But the main event tonight is going to definitely be that wind that's going to be sustained, going back and forth until about the noontime tomorrow. That is our biggest concern right now.
Obviously, nobody needs to be around about outages. I'm sure you've been dealing with the utilities. PSEG, from at least your first take and how prepared they are, what's your takeaway?
Well, so far I feel they've really been good. They have people representation in our emergency operations center. The latest report, we have very minor outages. Nothing has showed up yet. If there's any good part of it, now we are concerned about the wind, but this is supposed to be like a real dry, fluffy snow. It's not that heavy snow. We're not concerned right now with tree limbs coming down, taking down lines, but we've had 100% cooperation so far from our utility companies.
All right, knock on wood. Joseph Williams, I appreciate it, and good luck tonight. Thank you very much.